after folding the flap and the bias for your piping, after folding something less than half an inch, you fold in this form. Now this folding will now be the size you so wish. If you want to have a bigger piping, fine. If you want to have a smaller piping, you now reduce. So the folding inch is now dependent on what you want to have as your finishing. So I think I want to have this extent as my piping. So I want to have it smaller. So this is what you have to fold, and make sure it's even when you're folding. So after folding, I will show you the next thing to do. So after folding the bias you want, now you have to trim. Now you're trimming, you have to leave 1/4 inch, the inch you use to attach the bias on the neckline circumference of your outfit. So you have to trim this way. So you can see the gap I'm leaving. So this gap is what you're going to use to attach this to the outfit. So right now I have finished trimming, so this is what is left. So this stuff is what I will use to attach this bias on the outfit.
This is cement.
Yeah. Okay, now for the chest flap, remember the measurement we used. So we have already cut out the measurement already. So we fold something close to half an inch at this edge. Something close to half an inch at this edge. Now when you fold, your the finishing of your flap will be in line with what you have in mind. If you want to have flap of 1.5, you leave 1.5. If you want to have less than 1.5, you measure. So your measurement you have in mind is what you, but in ideal, what you should have is something 1.5, 1.6 flap measurement. So after this folding, now you fold again. Now you fold again. When you're folding, you have to leave certain inch here that you will use to attach for the chest flap as well. These are the technique, the easiest way to do this and achieve a fantastic sewing. So you have to do this all right round till you finish preparing the whole outfit. So this folding now, the measurement left already, I have programmed it already. I have known what I want to use as my finishing. So this is how it should be. So this is my chest flap. This inch here, you have to trim it so it will be even or uniform. Now this is for the inside one, the second part of the placket or the chest flap. So you also fold. When you fold, the same way you folded the other one, but this one will be smaller when after folding, because the inch you use is 2 inches against 3 inches for the first one. So this one now will be smaller. That's how it should be. The one that should be beneath should be smaller than the one on top. So you also fold and also leave certain inch for sewing. So this is how it should be. It should be smaller. Always iron properly. So now I want to fold my back facing. So after gumming, you fold into two this way. This folding is part of the sewing, so you must fold accordingly, so it will be easier for you to sew when sewing. So it must be easier for you to sew when sewing. So you have to fold accordingly. Now, having seen the gumming part, time now for us to fold. Now after you have to first of all get the middle line, the center of the facing, fold 1 inch or thereabouts, or half an inch, depending on what you want to have. Now depending on the nature of the facing you have, if you have a V-like shaping, this is how you fold. If you have a curvy-like shaping, you fold according to the shape you cut. So I fold because I cut my own Now time for us to do the slitting. Now the slitting will come in line with your cutting processes. Now remember, in cutting we use the round sleeve by 2. We got a value. Now we now added 1 inch for pleating. Now that pleating was added inside of the round sleeve. So this, my client now, his round sleeve was 8 plus 1 inch pleating, making it 9. That's 4.5. I marked that 4.5. Whoa, come closely. I marked that 4.5 is 9 is his round sleeve plus 1. I used 4, 8 was his round sleeve plus 1. That's 5. That's 5 now, yeah. 8 is round sleeve, 4 plus 1, 5. I marked as 5. Now plus extra 1 inch for the normal seam allowance. So after cutting your sleeve this way, now what you just have to do is you fold your sleeve into 2. That's from the wrong side. Fold it into 2, iron properly. When you iron properly, you will get a center line at the edge of the fabric. Now that center line is going to help us in knowing where we attach our placket. So you open up again. Now you have to place the 5 inch you marked. That is the first inch you marked here. Place it at the middle of your ironing, the center. Now you iron again to get another line right beside it. Now this line now will now serve you for you to know where to fix your sleeve. And when doing this, the two right faces of the sleeve must face each other. That's the fronts must face together for you to be able to achieve this. So when you do this now and bring out one becomes the right and one becomes the left. So the one that's down, you re-iron it so that you know that this is the front of the outfit. So this is how you get your sleeves properly ironed and fixed. Because if you do otherwise, you might end up having one sleeve double. So this is how you adjust your sleeves. Now one is now right and one is now left. So these are the basic technique you can use to achieve this. Now for the pockets, remember we gummed and the pocket already, and this kind of pocket, I told you there's a design for it. Now I'm not going to fold this pocket. I'm going to use this material to sew. I'll sew from inside and turn it inside. So I have a reason for it, which I will show you the effect it will give. But if it's a normal pocket you are going to use, nothing stops you from folding. Then you fold normal. But this is my own. I've already cut out the exact pocket I want to have. At the end of the day, I will have a pocket of 4 inch or 4.2 inch left at the end of the sewing. So I'm not going to fold this pocket now. This is just a designer's pocket I want to use, which I will also show you how it's being prepared. The main front of the outfit, that's the front of the outfit, you fold the front into 2. That's the front side. Now you fold, you also iron. Now remember, this is a chest flap, and the chest flap, I will tell you the manipulation you will do to arrive at a perfect chest flap. Because if you don't do that, you have the neckline to be wider than it should. So you have to iron properly to get the middle. This center line I'm getting now helps me a lot when sewing. So you also have to do this, and the rumples as well can go a long way to ruin your work. So you have to remove the rumples so you have a smooth fabric. So at this point, I want to make the provision for me to be able to attach my chest flap. So what you just have to do is, from the neckline, measure 7 inches down, 7 inches down, 7 inches. Sorry, I'm using white chalk. 7 inches down, because I use white chalk on white fabric, so I will not stain the material. So the vision will not be too clear on white chalk, but try to see that this is 7 inches marking I'm using. So 7 inches down. Now you are meant to cut out something less than half an inch from here. The cutting is to enable you attach your chest flap, and at the end of the day, the both of them will overlap on each other, so that one will not extend to the other side. So you're going to cut something less than half an inch. So your cutting will come in this direction. It should come from the neckline downwards to your 7 inches. Now on getting to the 7 inches mark, you give it a V-like cutting here inwards from this direction, and not from here. You must do it from this point. Do it from this point, 7 inches in, you cut. Now after cutting it this way, now when you open it up, you will see your fabric in this form. Sorry, you will see your fabric in this form. Now when you see your fabric in this form, this is going to be your the look after your cutting. This is going to be the look after your cutting. So this is now our front. Now I will attach my chest flap on this area, on this point, so you can see how it's being done. So I will now go down to the cutting processes, and I will make a video on it to show us how it's being coupled. Thank you for watching.